Hello, you're watching ERi-TV and welcome to English News Broadcast. These are the top stories. 29 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. Eritrean nationals in Sweden expressed readiness to support the disabled. New cases of Omicron variant accelerate. And Canada's intelligence agency reported ransomware attacks on Canadian targets. The local news. We have an announcement from the Ministry of Health. 29 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers and testing stations in the central, southern, Ansaba and southern Eritrea regions. Out of this, 20 patients are from quarantine centers 8 and testing stations 12 central region. 6 patients are from testing stations in Adhuala 3 and Afet 2 and Adayah 1 southern region. 2 are from testing stations in Hamal 1 and Hagaz 1 Ansaba region. The last patient is from testing stations in Asab southern Eritrea region. On the other hand, 40 patients will be receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the southern 24 and central 15 and Gashbarka 1 regions have fully recovered and are being discharged from these facilities. Sadly, though, 60-year-old patient from the southern region has passed away due to the pandemic. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 7,311, while the number of deaths has risen to 62, and the total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 7,513. Minister of Health, Asmara, December 7, 2021. At a program organized in connection with the December 3rd World Day of the Disabled, Eritrean nationals in Sweden expressed readiness to reinforce contribution in the implementation of programs of the National Association of Eritrean War Disabled Veterans. Speaking at the event, Mr. Stefan Sahaye, chairman of the association branch in Sweden, said the main objective of the association is to enable the disabled become self-supportive and productive members of the society, and that the association's branch is playing its due part. According to the report presented at the occasion, in 2020 and 2021, the Sweden branch of the National Association of Eritrean War Disabled Veterans has contributed material support to the association, including wheelchairs, beds, and medical equipment, as well as $14,000 and 90,000 kroner. Underlining that supporting the disabled veterans is part of the Eritrean noble societal, cultural, and responsibility, chargé d'affaires of the Eritrean embassy in the Scandinavian countries, Mr. Jonas Mannam, called on the nationals to reinforce participation and contribution in the effort to enable the disabled veterans become self-supportive. Stating that supporting the war disabled veterans is the responsibility of every citizen, Mr. Isaias Gebrai, head of consular affairs at the Eritrean embassy, commended the initiative the Swedish branch of the association is taking to support the National Association of the Eritrean War Veterans, disabled veterans. The National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students branch in the Ansaba region organized a 3-month training in literature to 25 youths, including 9 females, in current subzone. The objective of the training program that was focused on script and poem writing was to enable the youth develop their writing skills and thus play due part in the development of arts in general and that of literature in particular in the country. Pointing out that the training program is part of the effort the union branch is exerting to develop the vocational capacity of the youth in the region, Mr. Azazi Barhatab, head of the union branch in the Ansaba region, called on the trainees to develop their capacity through practice. The trainees commended for the opportunity they were provided and expressed readiness to develop their capacity through practice and play due part in the development of arts in the country. Now back with international news. After a short break. Welcome back. The global COVID-19 cases have exceeded 267 million and the death toll has reached more than 5.2 million today. and more than 240 million people have recovered amid a surge of infections driven by the new Omicron variant in more countries and regions. This is according to data from World Meters. The cumulative total of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the United States has exceeded 50.1 million as of today, with the death toll surpassing 810,000. This according to federal media reports. Although the Omicron now spreads to one-third of American states, it's the Delta which is still driving hospitalizations. Results are expected within weeks to determine whether Omicron is resistant to vaccines. India's COVID-19 tally rose to 34.6 today across the country, showed the Federal Health Ministry's latest data. In Britain, more than 45,600 new cases of the Omicron variant have been reported in the last 24 hours. Britain taking the total number of cases in the country to more than 10.5 million. Canada's Signals Intelligence Agency reported 235 ransomware attacks on Canadian targets this year, half of which were key infrastructure providers. Global ransomware attacks increased by 151% in the first half of 2021 compared to 2020. Key Canadian infrastructure has regularly been targeted in which hackers essentially hold computer information hostage until they are paid. This according to the Communications Security Establishment. The agency said it knew of 235 against Canadian targets from January 1st to November 16 of this year. More than half were critical infrastructure providers, including hospitals. The average total cost of recovery from ransomware incident more than doubled to $1.8 million globally this year. The three Shenzhou 13 crew members aboard China's space station yesterday greeted students on Earth before giving them a special space literature scheduled at 3:40 p.m. Beijing time. The three astronauts, namely Zhai Xingan, Wang Yaping, and Yi Gangfu, will interact with students on Earth. The primary ground classroom for the Tiangong class project will be at the China Science and Technology Museum. Classrooms will also be set up in Nanning of South China's Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, Wanchun County of southwestern Shanzhou Province, Hong Kong, and Macau, this according to GMCS. In addition to the showcasing their living and working scenes at the space station, the astronauts will also demonstrate the students some scientific phenomenon, including cytological experiments. And now a reminder of the top stories. 29 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. Eritrean nationals in Sweden express readiness to support the disabled. New cases of Omicron variant accelerate. And Canada's intelligence agency reported ransomware attacks on Canadian targets. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.